Hello? No. Is it working? Hold on, this is really low. Hi! Oh, this is really loud now.
There we go.
Is,
Can you hear
is,
me?
is, yeah, is my thing too loud?
No, you're good.
Okay, cool. You sure? Because this thing
Perfect.
is weird.
No, it's perfect.
Okay, good. Hello! Hello, everybody!
Welcome back for another week.
How is...
Let's see. Look at that. Oh my
Hi!
god. People are already jumping in.
How y'all doing? How is everybody? Let's wait for a couple more people to get here because I feel like the story is going to be cool.
This is going to be really cool. We're so happy that everyone gave us some, ideas and inspirations last time on our lives. So, this is a story that we collectively as a community have created.
Yeah, so on and so forth. Hello!
Welcome.
How is everybody? Unfortunately, I haven't learned how to use the sound thing yet, but this is for y'all.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah!
I I mean, I know how to use it. It's just, you know, we don't have any times to actually use it.
Exactly. All right. So, this week is just to recap anybody who is newly listening in, or if you guys just forgot. Um, in our previous live 2 weeks ago, we had discussed with our audience a story where a ghost hunter falls in love with the ghost that they are hunting as a prompt. However, it's going to be from two different sides. So my story is going to be from the side of the ghost hunter, while Michelle, who lost our battle, is the ghost because I have ended her.
I'm dead. Hello,
Yes.
I am Phantom Michelle. Nice to meet you.
We call her Phantom Ash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They call me Phantom Ash.
So we're super excited to go ahead and get this going with you guys.
Yeah.
Um,
We were like, are we gonna write like a screenplay right now? It's gonna be like a radio show? Or are we doing like a cinematic?
Cinematic.
I've been drinking.
Yeah. I don't know about where all of you guys are at the moment, but where I am in Ontario recently has gotten really, really hot for my liking. So I had not slept last night, so I feel terrible. Um,
Oh, it's
but just knowing that I had a live today brought me back up in my spirits, and I feel amazing, and I'm ready to go. So
yeah.
I'm ready.
I was resurrected for this live. I was dead, but
Yeah, I just
that's
put in
fast.
like a bunch of dough together and made a new bread mash.
Yeah, the dough.
Yeah,
Oh
the dough.
no. Oh,
Letting you all know that there won't be any rabid vegetables in this week's podcast. So, you know, there are no chickens that will be harmed in this one, no roosters. The only thing that's going to be harmed is your feelings because the story is amazing.
yeah. Yeah, what you said. Yeah, what you said. Jeez.
All right. So, we have
It
given it
was a
about like
rooster.
5 minutes. It was a rooster, yeah. Gerald.
Gerald was the rooster. Yes.
Good Gerald.
As a
Um,
recap, you want to recap your story real quick because I want to hear it.
you want to recap the story from our last live, which was
Yes.
simply the farmer made vegetables that then he tore apart other animals and then he ate them
Yeah,
because
like
why
that.
not? Yeah,
Yes, that's what happened. And I
that's
forget what
exactly.
was. Yeah. Um. Yeah, we were going to. do the story as not alive, but then we thought that like it would be more interesting as alive, and we didn't do it last
Mhm.
week because I actually wasn't here, so we couldn't do it last week. Hello,
Yeah,
welcome.
there's a couple things that were going on. It's just when we were going to originally post the story, the thing is that, like, because we even built it as a community, the idea came in because of our viewers. We figured, hey, it makes more sense that we do it again as live so we can get your live reactions and see how you feel about what you guys gave us in real time. So, it's just going to be a fun adventure.
Yeah, and I don't know if y'all listened to the last one, but like again, we just wanted to get it to you guys sooner. So this is like we're not going to be doing two lives a month. We're going to be doing one live a month, just because why not?
Yeah, but just be ready because our next live is going to be on April Fool's Day.
It is.
The first of the month is actually the Friday.
Oh, it's a Friday. It's gonna be
Yeah,
April. That's
right?
perfect.
That's perfect. So we'll see. Maybe you guys will give us some like fun April Fool's prompts you might want us to write or something like that, or we'll see what we can pull out of our hats. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be good. Anyway, yeah. So I think you
Do you
wanna.
want me to start mine?
I suppose. Do we have anything else to say?
Thank everybody for being here again for the
Yeah.
20th time. You
Yeah.
know, absolutely love that you guys are
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Thanks for watching or listening. That's
Yes.
how words work. Yeah, I think
Yes.
that's it. I think that's it for me.
Yes. All right. So, my story is just so you guys know, we are reading our own stories this week just because, usually we read each other's for the shock value, but since we're on the live, we're going to be reading our own stories because I am the ghost hunter and Michelle is the ghost.
Yeah, we wrote these together, so it's there's no surprise for us.
Kelsey. But with that being said, my story is called Dancing in the Flames. I closed my eyes and a tear rolled across my face. I swear I could have almost felt her in my arms laying on the bed beside me. But when I opened my eyes, there was a faint glow of her dissipating. It was like soft blue fireflies drifting away, then having their lights turning off. Anyone else seeing it might describe it as ethereal, beautiful, effervescent, but I would describe it as heart-wrenching. I have no idea how it even got to this point, but it did, and now it's over. It started with my phone ringing one evening. I had recently started my own agency for ghost hunting after my YouTube videos of me investigating mysterious abandoned buildings started going viral. It was never anything super scary, just some objects moving around a little bit, maybe some orbs floating around in one room to another, and sometimes I'd even set the stage a bit just to get some more viewers if the house was just old and creaky, but someone thought it was haunted. This job, though, this call was different. I had no idea what I was about to be walking into. Every night, I hear singing in my house, and it smells like something's burning. But when I take a look around, I never find anything. I'm not sure if I should be happy about that or if it makes me even more unsettled, but I need your help regardless. You're the best in the industry. My client had pleaded their concerns to me, and just like any other job, I said of course, and then gave them my payment details. Generally, what happens is I grab all my equipment, set up some cameras around the house, some motion detectors, maybe even a sound sensor or two, the works. You name it, I have it ready to be installed and find out what's going bump in the night. The resident of the location I'd be investigating would stay either with a friend or family member, and in some cases, a hotel. Then I'd stay at the location until it's all handled and figured out. This time, the job was looking like it would be a bit tougher than expected. The house was older and didn't have a proper HVAC system. It was either open the windows or light the fireplace. No matter. I had settled in and tested that all of my equipment was working fine. The first few nights went by just fine. It didn't seem like there was anything in here at all. For all I knew, my client could have just been making it up for the publicity. A lot of people selling their houses like to pretend they're haunted so horror buffs would rush in and buy it at top dollar. By the fifth night, that's when I heard it. The soft voice singing throughout the house. Almost as if I was in a trance, I had followed the origin of the sound down the stairs to the living room. It was empty, but the singing continued, and as if my body acted on its own, I had started dancing to the soothing melody. Once the singing stopped, my eyes were suddenly heavy, and I had fallen asleep on the couch. The morning light bled through the curtains and conveniently hit my eyes directly, causing me to wake up in a slightly bitter mood at first. But after the grumpiness wore off, I was confused about how I ended up sleeping here on the couch, with my body still being warm and skin radiating heat, especially without a blanket. I wrote those notes down into my event log, as this may be a sign of the spirit's presence. As the day progressed, it seemed as uneventful as when I first got in, until I started hearing a sound in the backyard. We were having heavy winds with the snow, so it was normal to hear something out there. Heading outside, just to ensure nothing from the house was falling off, I was greeted by the lovely sound of singing again as I opened the door. This was the first time I had ever heard this singing outside of the living room. As my body had done before, it moved with the sounds of the song swaying through the snow. I danced, not caring if the neighbors were peeking through their windows. Once more, the singing stopped. My eyes grew heavy, causing me to pass out in the snow. There was that warmth again, but I'm sure I had knocked out in the snow. By the time my eyes had opened, I noticed the night sky above me filled with stars. It was beautiful until the chill of the wind started to resume through my body. The warmth disappeared and I jolted up, ready to head inside. It suddenly occurred to me that around where I was laying, the snow had melted completely and very precisely. Worried that I might get sick, I went straight to the room I was staying in and took some cold and flu pills before checking my equipment to see if I had captured anything while I was sleeping outside. There was no activity inside the house anywhere, so I just closed my things for the evening and went to bed. There was no singing tonight, no soft lulls that would help me drift away, no dancing around the room letting my body freely float to the sound, although I had just spent my afternoon dancing. The thought of the spirit had me intrigued even further than just the job. Why do we feel sudden hot spots on the property instead of cold spots? Who could carry such a beautiful voice? I wonder what they looked like. I dozed off while sorting my thoughts. There I was in the house, like it was any other day, but something felt slightly off. I was seeing shapes and shadows instead of clear images, until suddenly everything showed itself to me. The flames engulfed everything around me, burning down all of the things I loved and cherished. Panicked thoughts swirled in my mind. Where are my parents? Is my little brother safe? I realize these aren't my thoughts, and these aren't my things. I never lived here in this house. This is just a job. Running through the rooms looking for any escape, I rushed towards the staircase to try and head to the front door. Wooden columns that were set ablaze had fallen to block me off, and through the smoke all I could see was the piano in the living room. As I turned around from the staircase to try and find another exit, I paused and noticed a mirror. Steadily approaching the mirror I realized that I was a young woman in her 30s. Before I could look any further, the flames had engulfed me. Throughout the night, I could feel myself tossing and turning restlessly in bed. These visions were so clear and vivid. My body was heating up, and I could feel the pools of sweat on the sheets. As the flames burnt the figure in my dream, I sprung up in a panic, breathing heavily, looking around to ensure everything was fine. Unable to sleep further, I got out of bed and took a walk throughout the house, following my steps from my nightmare. Each step I took made the unease in my body grow. I approached the mirror on the wall across from the staircase and ran my finger around the frame when suddenly I saw the woman in the mirror again. I shook my head, closing my eyes, and opened them again, looking at myself in the mirror. Turning around and heading towards the staircase, I saw the piano in the same spot, covered in dust. I went to the washroom to towel off the sweat before going back to bed and attempting to fall asleep. The thought alone made me feel uneasy, as if the next time I closed my eyes, it would continue where it left off with the woman burning, or it would just replay over and over. As I lay in the bed closing my eyes, trying not to focus on that, the warmth returned. Although I had previously been sweating, this heat and warmth didn't feel overbearing. I felt comfort. It felt like it was the warm embrace of a loved one. The warmth was still there when I awoke, and I somehow felt refreshed, almost as if those nightmares hadn't haunted my night. After brushing my teeth and heading to the staircase, the piano caught my eye again. Approaching it, I could see how much dust was built up on this, as if no one had played it or wanted to even maintain it. Sure, I was here to do some ghost hunting, but no one said I couldn't clean up after myself. With that thought in mind, I headed outside for a short moment, arriving again with some cleaning supplies from a local music shop. My new project for the day was to restore this beautiful piano. I had begun to first wipe away all of the dust that had built up over the years. Then I began to wipe away with a light, damp cloth to ensure that the finish of the piano doesn't get damaged. Finally, I applied small amounts of the products that I had purchased earlier as the shopkeeper had instructed to ensure that the original finishing of the piano stayed intact. As the night settled in, my friend began her song once more, but this time I did my best to accompany her on the piano. As the sounds of her beautiful voice resonated throughout the house, an image slowly started to appear. With each note of the piano being played, she became more and more real. I stood from the piano and offered my hand out to her for another dance. We kept at this for another few nights, getting closer and closer. I'm not sure if it was her song that had originally put me in a trance, or just that pure, comforting aura she exuded. But this was something that I had not felt in a long time. I just wish I had more time to properly love her, but at least she is at peace now. Yay!
What do you guys think? That's that.
Yeah, I hope you guys like that. Um, you know, who falls in love with a ghost these days? Come on. That's so 1950s.
it
Oh, I'm glad you think
was
so.
it was really sweet. I like that he cleaned the piano. Speaking from,
A
can I even
musician
say that?
background.
I was gonna say speaking from the ghost perspective.
Oh, you can say that, but you
It's
also,
not
Michelle is a
ghost
singer slash musician slash ghost slash bread.
slash uh, many things. I wear many hats.
And all of them fit just right. So yeah. Um that was the ghost hunters part of this. It doesn't look like this ghost is about to be hunted. Um at least,
Will of the
Uh
Wisps. What's
Will
that?
of the
It
Wisps.
sounds like I should know that. It sounds sweet already.
Yeah, that sounds adorable.
Is that like an
Is that
anime?
an anime or a book?
I'm actually gonna
That sounds like a manga, I
Will of
believe.
the Wisps. I feel like I've heard that before. Oh wait, Ori and the Will of the Wisps,
No,
or
that's a game.
yeah, I know it's a game, but does that happen in there?
No, I don't think so.
Ah, that's interesting. I should
Yeah.
find it.
Yeah. I mean, it's an Irish legend. Oh, you mean like the actual Will of the Wisps legend? Oh, I thought you meant like a
Oh,
thing that you. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay.
oh,
I love Will o Wisps, sis and sis.
that's so cute. So, so Kristen, which part was your favorite from your story?
I I really I have to say I love my opener.
Yeah,
I just love my opening. Like I find that my favorite, although it was, although it's like the ending at the very beginning and it's one of those types of stories, I just feel like, it really gets across how deep their relationship does get eventually.
yeah,
Um, it's one of those things where it's like he's saying that he was holding her and then suddenly she just dissipated, which means she was no longer tied down to this house, no longer tied down to the earthly plane. She was able to finally ascend to whatever peace and whatever afterlife, if yeah.
yeah.
Some furious type in there.
Is it?
It is.
I was trying to find more about the Will of the Wisp.
Yeah, that's wow. Okay. Yes. All right. But yeah, so I hope you all enjoyed that. Um and yeah, what part did you find particularly enticing for you?
I like the parts where he was where he was like dancing with her.
Hmm.
I don't know. I thought that was really sweet.
Just all the parts that he just randomly fell asleep and was like, "Let's dance. I'm tired."
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to like pick apart without thinking about my story.
I know, and that's going to be super interesting hearing how
Yeah,
the two stories are combined. Um, reading these stories, having them being like kind of like mirrors of each other, just different perspective type of stuff. Like it's you guys are gonna love this. Like you guys are gonna love this.
I wish there was like an "aw" sound effect, but there's only like.
We'll just it's okay. Just
As you know,
yeah,
there's
as one
also
does.
yeah. All right, do we just start? Do I just start now?
Yeah, yeah. Just yours. No more
just,
Oz and
just do
oohs.
it.
Get
Okay.
out of here.
Okay. All right. So here's mine, and keep in mind it's supposed to pair with Kristen's. So um, yeah, it's called Burning Existence. So I had been stuck in this place for as long as I could remember, floating from room to room aimlessly with nothing to do but sing and dance. Singing was the only thing I could do to maintain my sanity and not completely lose myself to the darkness. But then, sometimes it was hard to tell the difference between light and dark. I felt like I was always on the edge of consciousness. I couldn't tell if it was because I was a spirit or if it was because all the days, weeks, and years seemed to blur together. I wasn't completely dead, but I definitely wasn't alive, and I had no idea how to move on. Clinging to life was never an interest of mine, especially after existing in this state for so long, but I had no idea how to move on. What was holding me back? Why was I still here? How did I even die in the first place? Even though I didn't care about night or day, I found that nighttime was more suitable for me because there was no one around in the living room, which was my favorite room, because of the old dusted grand piano that felt so familiar. People came and went, and as time went on, they became as mundane as every creak in the floorboards or insect in the windowsills, blending in the background alongside my own existence. It wasn't until another peaceful night of singing and dancing in the living room that I noticed someone had joined me. He was swaying gently to the sound of my voice, and I found that I fit easily in his outstretched arms, as if he could tell I was there. For a second, I wondered if it was even possible for him to see me, but I decided not to think about it and to just enjoy the company. It didn't take long before the man seemed to tire. He began moving slower and eventually dropped his arms and walked over to the couch to lie down. I stared at him for a bit, wondering how long exactly he had been living here. I couldn't be sure if I had seen him any time before today or not. He began to stir as the sun reached his eyes, and I realized that the night was already over. I moved closer to the window to look outside. The sun was a bright yellow, illuminating the sky with all kinds of orange and red hues, making the clouds seem as if they were lined with shining silver liquid. After drinking in such a beautiful sight, I found myself wondering why I had never noticed this before. The sun was high in the sky now, and I turned away from the window to see the man start to open his eyes. Before he could fully wake, I decided to head back to the attic in case he could actually see me. I didn't feel like talking to anyone. As I walked back to the attic, I noticed all kinds of gadgets and fancy looking equipment strewn about the house, as if a child had left his toys everywhere. I spent some time looking at all the strange devices, trying to figure out what they're for and why he seemed to have left them there. There were some leading up to the stairs and some in every room of the house. Part of me wanted to ask him what they were for, but before I could consider this idea further, something outside the window in the attic caught my attention. I walked back down the stairs and passed through the door leading to the outside. I had never been outside before. I didn't even know I could leave the house. I headed to the back of the house where I saw a small furry fox. Its fur was a beautiful red, almost like the sunrise, that looked even more brilliant on the backdrop of pure white snow. If I remembered anything from my time alive, I remembered that I used to love foxes. I sat there and watched it flit about in the snow, as if the object of its game was to completely bury the bushes in snow. I let out a little chuckle and was filled with a desire to sing a little tune for it. I heard the door open behind me, causing the fox to run away, and out came the man, dancing towards my direction, almost as if he had been in a trance. I didn't dwell on it too long, because I found myself overjoyed to be able to dance with him again. I nuzzled myself in his arms and kept singing while we swayed together to the music. Shortly after, he began again to slow down, and this time fell asleep right in the snow. I found that I was remembering more and more things about being human, and I remembered that falling asleep outside the snow was bad for living humans. I started panicking because I was certain that he would die if I couldn't wake him up or find a way to keep him warm. I ran right through the walls to the laundry room because I had remembered there being a blanket in there. When I tried to pick it up, my hands went right through it. I froze for a second. I had never tried to hold anything before, as I'd never had the need. Before my curiosity could get the better of me, I ran back outside to check on him. Just by looking, I couldn't tell if he was breathing or not, so I knelt down in the snow next to him and put my head to his chest to listen for a heartbeat. I immediately heard the sound of him breathing, and then heard the steady rhythm of his heartbeat. I couldn't remember the last time I heard a heartbeat. I hadn't been this close to another person in a long time. I stood up and was about to run inside to try and find something that I could carry until I noticed that the snow around him had melted in the time that I had been there. Was it possible that I was able to keep him warm just by being there? I had no way of knowing for sure. What if I was wrong? Killing him was the last thing I wanted to do. While I was panicking, his eyes fluttered open and he stared into the sky. I looked up with him and saw that night had fallen. He seemed like he was okay, but that didn't mean that he wouldn't catch a cold later. I hurried inside to see if I could make him tea or start the fireplace or maybe pick up a lighter blanket, but frustratingly, I couldn't do anything. While I was frantically searching for something to do, he walked upstairs. Oh, I think I skipped a line. Okay. While I was frantically searching for something to do, he walked upstairs, then came back down to fiddle with his toys, and then went back up to sleep. I was usually lively at night, but I couldn't bring myself to sing any songs or dance the night away, because I was dreading how that might affect him. I didn't want to cause him to go out into the snow again or make him leave the warmth of his bed. He needed rest. I was rushing all throughout the house, searching for something I could hold, looking for something I could do, all the while asking in the back of my mind why I was so frantic. I was filled with horror at the thought of almost killing him, and also filled with guilt and loneliness for not being able to apologize or even communicate to him. I found myself wishing that he could see me, and just then I heard him stir upstairs. I went to check on him and found him examining the old mirror at the top of the stairs. As I moved closer, he seemed to jump slightly and shook it off. I was worried, and before I knew it, I was following him around the house until he got into bed. I watched him fall asleep, and again it seemed like he wasn't breathing. I put my head to his chest and was glad to hear the steady sound of his breathing accompanied by his heart. I stayed like that for a while, just listening. I felt like I could stay there forever, but just when I was getting comfortable, the sun rose and he woke up. I didn't leave this time. I wanted him to see me, but it became evident that he couldn't. I watched as he went about his day, and I tried again to interact with anything to help him out, but to no avail. The man left the house early in the morning. I had to admit, being alone used to bring me comfort, but watching him leave made me feel lonely. He returned rather quickly and began messing around with the piano. At first, I didn't want him to even touch it. Even I was surprised at how territorial I was feeling. But when he was finally done, the piano looked brand new. I felt a new wave of happiness swell in me, and I examined the work he had done on the piano. I looked over it again and again until I was compelled to sing a tune. As I sang, the man sat down at the piano and began to play. I had never felt something like this before, and I sang louder and louder until the man looked at me, right at me. He could see me, I thought excitedly. He stretched a hand out towards me, and I took it without hesitation. We danced and danced while I sang. We did this for some time more. The longer I spent with him, the more I was able to tell the difference between light and dark, night and day, until finally the light filled my vision, and I felt a warmth coming from the path ahead of me. It seemed like I could finally leave. I turned to the man, grateful for the gift he had given me. I gave him a peck on the cheek, wishing him all the happiness in the world as he slept, and let myself be engulfed by the warmth. The end.
It looks like we're just amazing.
It looks like it.
That
Okay.
was so. Oh my goodness. Like, I don't know about you guys, but those two, like, the way it tied in, it was so sweet. And, like, it's, she's happy that she's moving on. He's happy that she's moving on. But she wishes she can spend more time with him, and he wishes the same. But at the same time, it's like, realistically, you're already dead and all that stuff. And it's like, oh my god, so cute.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, I was writing it and I was like, this is gonna be cute. This is gonna be cute. And like my thing was that I wanted her to basically pass on without remembering how she died. So she basically passed on with the gift of um,
Gab, the gift
having
of Gab.
what? What?
Oh, no, no, go ahead, go ahead. The gift, the
Um,
gift.
the gift of like I don't know, like a final uh, connection with somebody. Like, so she passed on happy as opposed to remembering how she died and being like, oh my god, and then just passing on. So like I still haven't really decided what kept her there, right? But it's kind of the idea of like her own story arc being resolved by the guy. So that way, like, I wouldn't have to come up with a whole backstory because the point of her, and I feel like this is a reoccurring theme with my stories, but she's living in the moment, and like things like why she died or how she died isn't in her mind because we know in the long we know from reading Kristen's story that that probably wouldn't be good for her anyway.
The darkness.
Yeah, so it's like instead she just doesn't remember and she passes on because she had so much fun with the guy and singing and dancing to her heart's content without a care in the world or thinking about like why he can see her, why she hasn't passed on, that kind of stuff, how she died, what's the deal, you know.
Yeah, and I really like that. Everything to her was so whatever. Like she sees people. Okay, whatever. I see everything. Like everything's just there. But as they got closer and closer, and she started to see more light. She started to differentiate between things. Like the darkness in her life was like pulling back. I really like that way of explaining it. Instead of just living day to day, she became joyful and like living with or unliving with all this stuff going on. And it was just a really sweet way to describe her transition.
I hope it was sweet. I was trying really hard to like make it sweet and also have this like I was like doing this hashing out and this focusing on like making it sweet, but also making it progress at the same like uh,
Mm.
tempo as yours. So I was like, in between the time and like also this is something that I was talking about earlier that I thought was really funny. He passes out in the snow and then he like wakes up and he's just like, that was weird and I'm warm. Let me just go inside. But like for her, he passes out in the snow. And she's like, "Holy, what do I do?" And she's like, "Oh my god, I'm a ghost. I can't bring him anything. I can't do anything. He's gonna die. It's all my fault." And then he just gets up and like goes to bed.
Yeah, yeah, that's just the difference. She only just started getting the light back in her life again, so she's probably just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And he's just like, warm.
Ah, excellent. Yeah, no, that was. I thought that was
It's
funny
it
to
is
write.
hilarious. So we hope that you guys loved that as much as we loved writing them, because working on them like this together actually seems quite interesting. You know. Oh,
I'm so
thank
glad you liked it.
you.
What was your favorite part? Because we have time, we might as well have a conversation. And like, what should
I
we?
do want to
I
say
like.
like a small little shout out to one of our viewers, just because um, on our last live, I believe it was Brian that had brought up the idea of writing from perspective, and They had reached out to us and messaged us, letting us know that they had tried to get into our live today, but unfortunately they are currently being towed somewhere because their car is stranded outside. So they can't actually make it to our live tonight. So wishing them best of luck with that. And I
That's
hope you
unfortunate.
enjoy listening to this afterwards when we are posting it on our site there. But we appreciate you.
Yeah, man. So, yeah. I also wish I could have wrote it for longer. Like, there's so many of these stories that we're writing that I just want to write more
I want to
of.
continue. I know. Like, oh, they're so they're so good. Like my witch one, I wanna have like more of like what does she do in her adventure? Where does she go? What's happening? And like she has her cat, her beautiful cat now. Things like that.
Oh, yeah?
Oh.
Because we understand our own stories better. I mean, I feel like this, like, for mine, I feel like I could write it better. Like, definitely, for sure, could write it better.
Mhm.
But yeah, when we read our own stuff, it sounds better. But it's more fun for us when we read each other's,
Yeah,
especially
it,
when
it
like
is it is different because like that's the thing. Like, we love writing these stories, and I love reading my stories, but I can only read it like 10 times. So at
yeah,
least at the 11th time it's being read be by Michelle, who's reading it for the first time, and vice versa, because, you know, um, we might have more of these days where we read our own stories, just,
yeah,
because we might do another one of these collaborative type stuff. You never know how this might go. Um, like this was a fun journey writing a collaborative story. What I
hello.
absolutely. Oh, hello there, Chris.
Should we read our stories again?
Just reread them again for the people jumping in now.
Yes. Hello.
Oh.
Um,
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, there's. I think that like when we write our own separate stories on different prompts, we definitely do see our styles of taking a prompt and twisting it to being something that's like us. But now that we're doing kind of the same prompt from different perspectives, you can really see the difference in writing. You know what I mean? Like the way that we both write so differently regardless, and just taking the
yeah,
same story and having it from like this kind of perspective. And it's just, I love that we both captured a bittersweet cuteness. You know what I mean?
yeah. That was fun though.
It
Like,
was
I
so
just
fun.
remember, I don't remember which one of them, but typically I'll write it and then as I'm writing it, I'm reading it over and over and over again to make sure everything flows properly. And so by the time we
Hmm.
come to record, I'm just like, oh God, I don't want to read it again. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And like also with this one, it's like if we plan it out together like this, it's better if we read our own, I think.
Yeah. Ah, yes, yes. No, I totally feel that. And it's true. Like, when we're reading our own stories, we're just like, oh, this is definitely going to be like more of an excited sentence, so I could preemptively excite. While,
Yeah.
it's like reading Michelle's story, and it'd be like, and then they jumped for glee, she said excitedly. Oh, shoot.
Yeah. We'll do that often too. We'll be like,
Yeah.
what are you doing
But
over
we
here? She
definitely
whispered.
have
Oh,
so much fun. Like, I love when Michelle reads my stories and I hear her laughing at them, because that's how I know the story's good.
fuck. Yeah. I love reading them and laughing at them. And it's hilarious that like, you know what? No, I'm not going to say that. Others are going to do it more.
Oh my gosh. Um, I think my favorite part of our stuff in general is when we have like those cuts with our bloopers
Oh,
on the recorded versions.
so many,
Yeah, that's
so many bloopers.
it's it
So
always
many
just brings
bloopers.
joy to my soul.
Yeah, so many blue. Oh shit, no, I didn't. I was like, oh, I'm gonna make like a whole reel of bloopers, but nah. Nah,
But no, that's a lot of work.
no. Literally 10 minutes of your cat eating in the background.
Yeah. Um, Umbra thought it'd be fun where in the middle of my recording for last week, it would be nice to just decide to eat dinner, even though the food's been there the whole time. And my microphone can pick up very, very, very like quiet sounds, and she wasn't being quiet. She was munching hard on that food. She was and she ate for like
10 minutes,
maybe
like
20
actually 10
minutes.
minutes. I
Well, so that's the thing. That's the
literally,
edited. I edited the file so that way you only
you
had 10 minutes of
edited,
it.
you edited the file and you left the eating. And why would you
It
curse me
was
like
an Easter egg. Everyone loves
a,
finding Easter eggs.
10-minute long Easter egg you made me sit through? God. I didn't sit through it. I kind of just, I saw it and I
Yeah,
just, well,
so she definitely
that's
skipped
all
it.
garbage.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
I can't,
But
I can't believe I'm finding about live on air. I'm finding out that Kriston has sabotaged me in this way, made me sit there for 10 minutes listening to this cat eat when he could have cut it out.
yeah. With that
God,
being said, we should probably give each other some prompts for next week.
no. Okay.
Just to divert that anger. Give me something.
Okay, so your prompt for next week is a young boy who can interact with the urban legends of his city.
Okay.
So I really like urban legends
Mm-hmm.
in
Mm-hmm.
general, and like there's different urban legends in different cities and stuff like that. So, and I was thinking that you don't have to use like real urban legends. You could make stuff up for whatever city, or you could pick like an actual city and do research into the urban legends there, and then like it doesn't. And also, it doesn't have to be a little boy. It could just be a child,
Okay.
but they have to interact with the urban legends. And like, I don't know if they're gonna make friends. I don't know if they're gonna get eaten, as apparently you like to write. But I'm
Yeah.
excited for that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. How do you guys
Dang.
feel about that? That sounds like a fun one, right? Like urban legends. We all love legends. We love, we
We
love
love
that.
urbans.
We love all of this.
Yeah.
Yours for next week is going to be.
Third eye guy. That's the name of it now. That's the name of your
That's
story.
the
If you don't,
name. That's going to be the name of the story.
that's amazing. I like that.
Third
Oh, look,
Eye
that's the name of one of the
Guy.
legends.
Oh, sorry. I'm
I
just
like
finding
that.
Combustion Man from Avatar. Um,
Good.
Urban
Sparky,
legend.
Sparky, Boom, Boom, man.
Exactly.
I don't know if I'm too far from my mic.
No, 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 no. Okay, well, yeah, I'll look more into that because I do see urban legend of South Carolina. A
Things
man or
like
being lurks in the underground. This is very interesting. Okay, that sounds like
there
it's gonna
was
be a fun one.
there was like the Owl Man of some state at some point, and then
Mhm.
there was something else. Well, I like a lot of these urban legends are created for, and I don't. Let me just also preface this by saying I don't like ruining the magic of urban legends. I'm just a logical person, I guess. So for me, it doesn't ruin it; it just makes it more interesting. But a lot of these urban legends are created to attract tourists. And they sell like a bunch of merchandise and stuff with like you visited the home of the owl man and stuff like that.
Yeah, I get that.
Hello, goodbye. Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, okay. So your prompt for next week is going to be. Okay. A king is hosting a tournament to find a knight to protect his son. However, one of the contestants that apply for this tournament is the son's lover.
Oh.
Yeah.
Am I gonna kill off somebody's lover? Yes. Yes, I am. This is gonna be the second week in a row I kill off somebody's lover.
I mean, this lover was already dead, so maybe they'll continue being in love after that person dies.
She
Who
super
knows?
died.
Super died. Soul obliterated. Tune in
Exactly.
next week for the the Shadow Realm sending of a soul.
Yes, we're gonna kill off the spouse, and we're gonna follow his soul into hell. That's what the story is gonna be about.
You know, I can see that being a thing for you.
Yeah, I'm happy for me.
Yeah. Yeah. But if you guys have any prompts that you might want to throw us for April Fool's Day, maybe, or anything like that, anything you guys want to think of or anything like that, you want to shoot those out, leave a comment, anything like that. Um, yeah, feel
Yeah.
free. We will take a look at those. We'll go over and maybe we'll pick two of the ones that are given to us, and Michelle will grab one. I'll grab one, and we'll just run with it.
Yes. I mean, not that we're like running out of ideas or anything. We just thought we'd offer.
Yeah, no, my dreams are too wild to have my ideas run out. They
Yeah.
haunt me. Well,
Yeah.
you think on that, and if you figure something out, let us know. And, you know, I am excited to see what everybody comes up with and the kind of ideas that we get. We'll also have some for each other just in the event that if you guys are trying to think of something, but life happens, things come up, we'll have something backed up.
Yeah. You know what I just thought of?
Hmm.
I should be using the drum roll effect every time we talk about our prompts.
That was too
What's the
long. Maybe you
symbol?
shouldn't.
Can I? Oh, I can't. We already learned
No,
that I
you
can't.
can't. We've learned that you can't.
We've learned.
So, all in favor that she doesn't do that again? I. Here, you can do the
Oh.
ooh
Oh. Oh.
now.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's right.
All right.
That was
There
the
you
wrong
go.
one.
As you can see,
Ow.
Michelle has that.
Uh-oh.
There you go.
What?
Michelle loves soundboards. Absolutely loves soundboards. But thank you all for listening in this week to another live. Next week is going to be a recording as usual, but tune in on April 1st, 8 p.m. Eastern, for another live.
Yes, it's gonna be fun. I like these.
It's going to be so fun.
Is there anything else? We did prompts. Like going through my checklist of things. I gotta upload my own drum roll. Then, if
I mean,
that's the
yeah,
case,
you could just download their drum roll, shorten it,
and then
and
cut
then
it,
re-upload
and then
it.
yeah,
Fixed, problem solved.
exactly. Good. We're learning. We're evolving.
Yes, we have the technology.
Mhm.
All right.
All right. I think we're done.
Yeah. Shut up. Okay.
Did you just tell me to shut up?
Good night, everybody.
Bye. Thanks for listening.